I'm coming back in.
Man, oh man, we back at it again with another video for y'all. It's a banger. Times Lamar Jackson did the unthinkable. Now you know me as the Lamar Jackson guy. I know I still don't know what he is to Lamar Jackson yet, but
he's a solid player. I'm an Eagles fan now, actually. 13-1, you know, about to be top of the NFC soon. Honestly, Jalen Hurts is out with his shoulder injury right now. So, I don't know, but I just know I need that Super Bowl ring. If you know, you know. Because I'm going to get one when they win. So, I'm rooting for the Eagles on the way out, so... Fly, Eagles, fly. You know that's that chant.
Anyways. Hey, man. We gonna go ahead and get into it, man. A lot of Lamar Jackson, a lot of stuff going on with the Ravens right now, unfortunately, with my Ravens. So, I need some light in my life when it comes to Baltimore. Lamar Jackson especially.
He's leaving y'all this year.
Hey, he's not. No.
Yo, give me y'all top 3 destinations in the comments for Lamar next year.
Hey, no.
I'm thinking Minnesota wouldn't be bad.
Wherever he go, I go.
Cut Kirk. Nah, they're not gonna cut him. Realistically, they're not gonna cut Kirk Cousins.
Wherever Lamar goes, I go.
49ers. Jimmy G, Trey Lance needs to develop. They probably like Brock Purdy right now, though.
Anyways, if he's not leaving, we gonna go ahead. We gonna get into it, but gotta do this real quick. Yo, what it do? It's your boys Juice and Lou, and you already know how this goes. So let's just get into it.
Lamar Jackson is one of the NFL's most unique talents. Scouts couldn't figure him out in the 2018 draft, and since then, defensive coordinators haven't either. Week after week, Lamar Jackson continues to transcend as he matures in pro football. Here are 7 times Lamar Jackson shocked the world and did the unthinkable. A high school phenom. Lamar Jackson played high school football at Boynton Beach, Florida. His highlight tape is insane. He was juking oncoming pass rushers, jumping over defenders, and outpaced whoever he pleased. High school opponents just couldn't stop him. In only 2 high school football seasons, Lamar threw for 2,263 yards, 31 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. He ran for another 1,624 yards and 22 rushing touchdowns. Jackson was a true dual-threat athlete, and once he took off running, he was unstoppable. Watching the tape, it just looks like he's mocking the defense, juking on the goal line, and spinning away from tackles. Jackson earned offers from the likes of Clemson, Florida, Auburn, and Louisville. While he may have only received a 3-star ranking from the top recruiting platforms, Jackson was named the Lou Grazza Palm Beach County High School Player of the Year in 2014. He eventually committed to Louisville over Florida, following a promise from Louisville head coach Bobby Petrino that Lamar would only be playing quarterback. The upset of the century. In 2016, in just his 3rd game of the season, Lamar Jackson faced his first major test as the quarterback of the Louisville Cardinals. He had been excellent against the Charlotte 49ers and Syracuse in the first couple of weeks of his sophomore season, but this was going to be a different kind of ballgame. The game was touted as one of the most exciting games of the weekend between the number 2 Seminoles and the number 10 ranked Louisville Cardinals, led by Lamar Jackson. There was no other game that weekend between 2 top 10 opponents, so the eyes of football fans everywhere were on this game. What transpired was the game that really put Lamar on the map. Jackson's joystick-style ball-carrying skills drew first blood, sending several defenders the wrong way before cutting back into the end zone. By halftime, Jackson had Louisville up 35-10 over the favorites, thanks to his 3 first-half rushing touchdowns. The FSU defense had no answer. Louisville would stomp the Seminoles, 63-20, the worst beating a number 2 ranked team had taken since 2008. Lamar had 216 passing yards and a passing touchdown, with another 146 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns on the day. Jackson came away from the game as the favorite to win the Heisman, drawing comparisons to Michael Vick, and what he did next solidified his legacy as one of the greatest college players of all time. Youngest to ever win the Heisman. The Louisville Cardinals never had a Heisman winner. Well, that was until Lamar's 2016 season. He led the school to a 9-3 record, and the subsequent Citrus Bowl against LSU earned him the award. Lamar became the youngest player to win the award around a month shy of his 20th birthday. The 2016 season was Lamar Jackson's first entire season as a starter, and it's safe to say he was pretty quick out of the gates, figuratively and quite literally. He threw for 3,390 passing yards and 30 touchdowns to only 9 interceptions, with a further 1,538 rushing yards and 21 rushing touchdowns. A combined 51 touchdowns propelled him into prime position for college football's most prestigious award. Lamar was awarded the Walter Camp and Maxwell Awards, which are awarded to the most outstanding college football player each season. In addition to being voted a unanimous All-American, he was the ACC Player and Offensive Player of the Year and was voted a first-team All-ACC talent, standing his ground on becoming a quarterback. Despite everything he did in college, football scouts wanted Lamar Jackson to display his athleticism more and switch to running back or wide receiver. There were more than a few who shared this opinion, and to sustain his legacy and continue to follow his dream to play quarterback, Lamar politely refused to entertain it. Scouts wanted him to run drills and show his speed, but Lamar refused. He tried to focus on his throwing ability and showcasing what he could do as a passer. He didn't want to show them his footwork and speed, and encouraged scouts on their mission to have Lamar make the switch. At his pro day, Lamar ran a reported 4.34 40-yard dash, which would have been the fastest ever by an NFL quarterback had it been officially timed. He bet on himself and his own ability as a quarterback. He didn't care that he wasn't like anybody else at the position, and neither did the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar was drafted 32nd overall with the last pick of the first round after Baltimore had traded up to get him. He was going pro, and the only position he was going to play was quarterback, earning the respect of his peers. Russell Wilson said Lamar's game is Lamar's game. He's absolutely right. You don't need to compare him to anybody else because he's not like anybody else. Scouts tried to label him as a running quarterback, and he has been under the microscope since he turned pro, with scouts and analysts trying to figure him out. If he throws a bad ball, he gets a lot more heat for it than anybody else would, because that's Lamar Jackson, the running quarterback. He's not a throwing quarterback, right? Not many know more about being a pro football quarterback than Tom Brady, who approached Lamar during the 2019 season, tapped him on the shoulder, and told him he was a big fan. Now, I can imagine that having Tom Brady say he's a fan of you as a quarterback is the top of the mountain for just about anybody. But Tom wasn't alone. Lamar had come in as the starter for the Ravens in relief of Joe Flacco, who had injured his hip. There was no pressure for Lamar to play as a rookie. Flacco was still capable, and the Ravens were in no rush. But the injury forced the hand, and Lamar was set to start. He had only played a handful of games going into the 2019 campaign, but his peers around the league started to take notice as the season went on. Following the season, Lamar was voted the #1 player on the NFL's Top 100 for the 2019 season, but that's not all he won. Youngest to win league MVP. In 2016, Lamar Jackson won the Heisman and became the youngest player to do so at the age of 19. In 2019, just 3 years later, he won the MVP award in the NFL and became the youngest player ever to do so, taking the record from Patrick Mahomes, who had won the award the year before. Lamar was incredible all season long. He played in 15 games with a 13-2 record, leading the Ravens to the playoffs. He opened the season throwing 5 touchdowns against the Miami Dolphins in a game where he had more touchdowns than incomplete passes. It looked effortless, and as it turned out, that game set the tone for what was about to be a monumental season for the young star. Lamar Jackson became the first quarterback to rush for 1,000 yards in a single season since Michael Vick did it. He threw for 3,127 yards and 36 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions, with another 1,206 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. He finished 6th in the league in rushing yards, ahead of most teams starting running back, and threw 36 touchdown passes in the process, which led the league. He was a cheat code, an enigma, and became just the second player in NFL history to be voted the unanimous MVP of the league. Only Tom Brady had ever achieved that feat. Mr. Record Breaker. At this point, Lamar had gone from a skinny 3-star high school recruit who could run, pass, spin, and juke his way into the end zone against high school kids to a bigger, stronger version of that kid who could still do all the same things, but now he was doing it against the world's very best football players. He was the 2016 Heisman, 2019 unanimous MVP, and still in his early 20s. We were witnessing greatness. Lamar broke numerous NFL records in just 2 seasons as a starting quarterback. Of course, he became the youngest player to ever win the NFL's MVP award, let alone doing so in a unanimous vote. But he also broke the record for the single-season rushing attempts and rushing yards by a quarterback. His 176 rushes for 1,206 yards set NFL records at the position, but that's not all. Following the 2020 season, Lamar had once again eclipsed 1,000 yards rushing as a quarterback, and the achievement made him the first to ever do so twice. He is now the standalone leader for the most 1,000-yard rushing seasons by a quarterback with 2. Perhaps most interestingly, for somebody who was written off at the position numerous times, he also holds a tied record with Ben Roethlisberger for the most perfect passer ratings in the same season, which he achieved twice in 2019. Not bad for a running back. Redefined greatness. Lamar refused a new contract from the Baltimore Ravens before the 2022 NFL season commenced. It was a 5-year extension, worth an estimated $250 million, with $133 million in guarantees. Athletes will always receive criticism for declining such large sums of money. Maybe that's because none of us could ever imagine saying no to $133 million. But Lamar decided to bet on himself. He represented himself in the negotiations and believed his value to be worth more, and honestly, why shouldn't he? We're talking about a 25-year-old quarterback creating his own path and definition of what it means to be an NFL quarterback. Who says that playing the position means you have to throw the ball more than you run? Who says you must stand in your pocket to pick out a target? All that matters to Lamar Jackson is winning. He wants to win a Super Bowl. He doesn't care what the critics say about how he plays the game. He's focused, resilient, and that won't stop until he's reached the very top of the game. Lamar Jackson's future in Baltimore is unclear, but the mission remains the same. Lamar bets on himself. After the 2022 season, he'll get his money. The next question is where?
Oh my God. You did not have to say that, bro. You did not have to say that.
To where we started.
No.
So I'm thinking, what we thinking?
No.
You want to travel to take your bags to San Fran?
Bro.
Houston, maybe? He wouldn't win there, but Houston, maybe?
It would be disgusting if you went to Houston. It's like,
Who else we got? San Fran would probably be his best option. The thing is, I don't know how much money they got. They would definitely have to cut Jimmy G, though. Yeah, I mean, maybe if Denver cuts Russell Wilson, too.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know.
We gonna pay all that just to cut him?
I mean, not having a good season.
Because listen, right? This is what we're going to do. We're going to franchise tag Lamar if we don't get
Yeah, probably.
If we don't get somewhere. We're going to franchise tag him.
I thought he wouldn't play him in a franchise.
And then, yeah, he's not going to play at all next year until he gets paid.
And then the Niners cut Jimmy G. Okay, I see where you're going.
Okay. Anyways. Hey, y'all let us know if you like this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn post notifications on so you know when we post, so you know when we get these out. But until the next video, it's your boys Juice and Lou, and we out of here. Peace.